Hi everyone. I've been getting these questions lately. The question is, how can we compare cumulative sales, same dates, across multiple months on Power BI? So I thought about it. What if I use total month to date? So for total month to date, I will have to create 12 measures if I'm to compare for January till December. I have to create 12 measures. Apart from creating these 12 measures, I won't be able to bring up the months in here. Then I thought about it again that what can I use? So what if I use calculate and date month to date? Then it's the same process. I have to create 12 measures for one chart. That means showing three charts, I have to create 36 measures, which is not efficient at all. Then it came to me that I can actually combine calculate and filter with parameters to just with a parameter on a slicer to actually do this with just three measures on these three charts. That is one measure per chart. So let's just get into it. So before you do this, just ensure that your calendar table has day on it. You can derive day on the calendar table by just inserting new column, then type in day calendar dates. You can watch my previous videos. You can see how I created a calendar table on the last webinar that we had. So now, let's quickly get to it. So I go to new measure, so I call this same day item sold. This will be equal to calculate. So I call up my item sold. Then I call up the filter function. So the table I want to use to filter this is my calendar table. That is dim calendar table, comma. Then my calendar, the column I want to use there is the day, right? So I'll use less than or equal to 12. So this takes the 12th day of the month for these 12 months, right? So I click on this chart. I take out the item sold, that is, and I replace with same day item sold. You can see the number here is quite lower than what we had in the last chart because the last chart shows all the sales for the whole month. But is this efficient enough? I don't think so. Because this is not efficient enough because each time I will have to come to this measure and change this number to correspond to the date I want to adjust to, whether it's 15, whether it's 17. Let me change this to 17 for instance. You see the number changes to adapt to sales as at 17th of each month. You can see the number adapts to sales at 17th. So how can I do this without having to come through this manual process? There is a way out. So the way out is using parameter. So I come to modeling, new parameter. So I leave it as parameter. My minimum number will be my start day in the month. While my maximum number will be the end day in the month, which is 31. Incremental day by day is 1. Then my default value is 1 as well. Then I make sure this is checked. Add slicer to this page is checked. And I click on OK. So this brings up the slicer for my parameter. I'll just quickly show you what's in that parameter table. So on the parameter table, so you can see, let's go to the table view. Let's go to parameter on the table view so that you can see what is there. You can see from 1 to 31st. That is the total day on that parameter table. So Here, I come to my same day sales. Instead of putting 17 here, I take it out and change it and bring my parameter in and bring in a parameter value. Enter. So what this simply does is that anything I select, the default value is 1, this is for the first working day. Anything I select on this parameter value gets reflected on this chart. So let me adjust this to 10 for instance. You can see this is sales for the 10th. So another bit of question is, do we have to create each parameter for each graph? No, of course. What we have to do is to replicate this formula for each of the graphs. So I'm going to just show you how to do that really quickly. I'll copy this. I'll come here, new measure. New measure. So on my new measure, I just paste that formula there. And I change it to, instead of same day items sold, I change it to same day sales amount. That is for the second slide. So I could just come to this measure here. Instead of items sold, I call up sales amount. Then I click OK. So this parameter now controls this chart here and this chart here, the sales amount chart. But before I can control it, I have to take this sales amount out and bring in same day sales amount. Okay, same day sales amount. So bring it there. So I can adjust this to 14th. You see it change. So very simple. Same, we implement the same thing for the revenue graph. So new measure, can either go to new measure from here or through here. So anyone works. So new measure. Okay. Let's quickly go there. Okay, new measure. Just paste this chart here. Instead of same day sales amounts, this is same day sales revenue. So this will be. So I change this from sales amount to sales revenue. I have sales revenue somewhere or just revenue. That's what I called it. Okay, revenue. So same thing, enter. So the measure gets created. Change these charts, remove this revenue and put same day sales revenue in there. This is good. So let me change this to two decimal, one decimal place. So this is good. You can see that this parameter now controls this three chart. If you want to see your sales for the 22nd working day, just need to adjust the 22nd and everything changes. Go back to 27th, just the 27th, everything changes. Go to the last date, 31st. It changes to the end of month sales. Go back to 8th, it changes to sales of the 8th working day. So that is all around showing longer trends across multiple months. So thank you for watching again, and I hope you've learned something from this. See you in the next video.